Hi guys, Renee here. Welcome back to my channel. What I wanted to do today, let me just move my phone. What I wanted to do today was just to go through, I don't have a lot of books for a number of reasons, but largely due to the fact that I went through a pretty depressive episode about 10 or 15 years ago. Before I met my husband, I just sort of got it in my head that I was never going to write again. I was never going to read again. I was just going to end up working some shitty day job and just end my life alone and old and grumpy. Now I've got companionship, but I can still be old and grumpy. So I got rid of a lot of my books, like a lot of books, and some I do regret getting rid of. For instance, there's a sort of like a comic magazine book called Robots, and I had like the first 2 issues of that, and I recently looked it up on World of Books lately, and it's like $200 to buy the first volume. But yeah, so I got rid of a lot of my books, and since then I have bought some new books. I've gotten rid of some others, and so I did get rid of a lot of my books. I just thought I was never going to read them again, and I was over them, and my child is groaning in her sleep. And what's happened is, since I have started writing again, I have started buying books again. And as one does when they first start collecting something, so for instance, a lot of people when they start collecting yarn tend to just buy willy-nilly without really thinking much about it, and then further down the track they start developing their own sense of style and taste, and that's where I'm at with books. Is I'm starting to sort of develop a bit of a sense of where I want my physical book collection to go. So I really love audiobooks. I love just putting them on in the background whilst we're doing the cleaning or just playing with the kids or whatever, because it doesn't just benefit me, but my husband gets to hear something, and my kids are also learning as well. So what I want to do is I want to kind of reboot my book collection a little bit. I want to focus mainly on, if I think I'm only going to read it once or even multiple times, but it's not something I love, then I'm just going to stick to audiobooks. And I've got a lot of Kindle books as well, but I never read Kindles. I think I've only read like 1 or 2 books as an ebook. I never read ebooks. I've got probably a couple of hundred of ebooks, but I never actually sit down and read them. Maybe it's because I don't have a decent e-reader, I don't know. Or that we sit and stare at our screens all day. The last thing I really want to do is relax by reading on the screen. Sorry, very tired today. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through my books. I'll put a little bit of image in. I don't have a lot, as I said, but I also don't have a lot of space to store books. So I have to start being a little bit more careful about what I'm purchasing and how it fits into my collection. So what I want to do is, what do I want to do? I think what I'll do is I'll go through them. I'll just go through them, pick the ones I'm keeping, pile up the ones I'm going to attempt to sell, and then I might go through and I might explain why I'm doing it this way. Or I'll explain it as I go. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. Anyway, let me just scoot around. So, first off, I have the Witcher series, and I've got the 2 short stories and the first novel. And you know what? I also own these on audiobook. And you know what I really don't like about these? Is that I hate fake stickers. So what I'm going to do is pop them in the get rid of pile, I think. Once again, I had pretty much originals, I think they were. Oh, jeez, Morgan. I had like the original covers years ago, and I bought these again last year, I think. But I haven't even read them because I did start reading Altered Carbon. As you can see, I've got tabs in there. But I actually own them on audiobook. So I think what I'm going to do is take out all these tabs. And I think I am going to, oh, that's what I should do. I should go grab a notebook and make a list of the books I want to get in be it a special edition or something. So this book's there we go. Okay, so quiet. So she'll sleep. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put here books to get. So what I want to do is sort of the traditional, what I want my, I'm really having trouble articulating this today. What I really want is I want my physical book collection to be my special books. So books I love, authors I love, editions I love. So for all the issues that we had with Broken Angels when we read at a book club, I love Richard Morgan's books. I really loved Altered Carbon. From memory, I really enjoyed Woken Furies, but I have to reread that just to double check. But I don't want, because our space is limited, I don't want to fill up my bookcase with basic editions. I want to have nice books. Go to sleep, Morgan. So what I'm going to do is, I don't even know if they came out in hardback. I'll double check. So what I'm going to do here is, as I sort through the ones that I would like to get a hardcover or maybe a nicer version of, I'm going to make a list of, and then I'm going to sit down on Amazon and I'm going to have a look and I'm going to make a wish list. Because I have Amazon on my phone, when I'm out shopping or whatever, or if I see something, I can double check my list and see if it's on my wanted list or not. So and for all its faults, Richard Morgan, for all the faults in Broken Angels, this book, I remember reading this in the early 2000s, and just the realization that what I wanted to write was possible and printable, that was a big eye-opening moment for me. So despite growing a bit older and having a bit more of a critical eye, there'll always be a special spot for Richard Morgan's books in my library. Oh no, I'm definitely keeping this. I got this off my parents. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Definitely keeping this book. There is no way in hell I'm getting rid of that. And the first hardcover of the series of this collection. I'm definitely keeping this one. And, oh, another hardcover. Christmas book, guys. Christmas book. Now, yes, definitely need to get this in hardcover. Preferably one without a sticker on it. Ugh. But you know what? I actually have this on audiobook, so I don't even need a physical book. I just want it because it's an amazing book. Okay. Oh, JJ, come on. Oh, don't yell at me. Sport rotten cats. Okay. Fairly obvious that I am a fan of these. If you have any conversation between myself and Charlotte, Terry Pratchett's. Definitely want to get my hands on the rest of the Terry Pratchett hardcovers. Now I do have two of them. At the moment I've got Guards, and I do have Hogfather, but is it here? Oh yes it is. I am reading it to the little fella at the moment before bed, so everything's a little bit out of order. Now I'll definitely want to keep this. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. I only actually recently picked this up and it is beautiful. I actually bought it for Mark for his Christmas book, what, the last year? Yeah. And but I decided to give him something a little bit more age appropriate, and I'll hold on to that till he's a little bit older because it is just beautiful. Okay, Terry Pratchett's. Okay. Got a couple of Asimovs. Need them. Now, I bought this on a whim, late night shopping. I have not even opened it. You know what? This I am keeping for now. It is not going to be a permanent collection, but this is not available on audiobook. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's not. I think that's why I did buy it in physical form, because I couldn't find it as an audiobook. And Audible. No, let's not start playing my Audible current read, which is A Gather in the Shadows, I might add. And I'm really enjoying it. It's been a long, long time since I've enjoyed a fantasy, and it is great. Got pretty much every one of her books except for The Child of the Phoenix. Yeah. Okay, so oh my god, Morgan. Go to sleep. So, this book isn't necessarily the best copy. It isn't pretty, but it's the only one I could find, and I have this memory of reading this book when I was a teenager and loving it. So it's not going to become a permanent collection. If I do decide I love it enough, I'm going to see if I can maybe get a hardcover or something. That's if it was ever available in hardcover. it's a chunker. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to read it. It is... ...922 pages. And they're pretty chunky writing. So yeah, it's going to take me a while to get to that one. I'm ignoring you, darling. Go to sleep. Okay. Sleeper and the Spindle. This month's book club. I actually have to read that. But I'll be keeping it anyway because it is effectively a picture book. And it is beautiful, even though it is not a hardcover. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not beautiful. Okay, now, oh, this is a small amount of my indie books. So I've got the first two books and the, is it short stories? Yes, short stories, not a novella, of Victoria Wren's Wild Spirit. I need to get her third. Definitely keeping them. I've got my Onion Chopper, sorry, Geraldine's Alley by Becca C. Smith. Sorry, I had to. And I have Displaced, which is Dan's. So I'm going to definitely keep all of them. Now, this is Mark's book from Christmas the other year. So I actually need to put that in his collection. And this is also Mark's book. This is his copy. So I need to put that in his books too. And what have we got here? So A Bottle of Rum is not available on audiobook. So that is staying in my collection of reference books. Pirate Women is available on audiobook, but I bought it for a reason. I want to have a copy of that on my shelf. Not available on audiobook. Season of Darkness, and to be honest, I love that cover, so I had to have it. Keeping that. Oh, geez, Alethea. What's going on there? I got, I was a Patreon of Megan's for quite a while, to the point where I actually earned the book because I was in one of the higher tiers. Yes, Morgan, go to sleep. So it is actually signed, and I will get around to reading it one day, Megan, I promise. This book is debatable. I personally am not a fan. Yes, I know, unpopular opinion. But I reckon we rebrand this as a YA dark romance. And I think my kids are going to, I think in particular, I got a feeling Morgan might enjoy it when she's older, if she's anything like her mum. If I had this book as a teenager, a romantic book, romantic dark fantasy book, I know there's problems with it. I'm not a huge fan of certain elements in it, but for all of its issues, it's not a horrible book. Now, I haven't gone out of my way to buy the sequel. No, it's not a sequel. What is it? The companion, because I'm just not interested. Not interested enough to purchase, particularly when I went to the effort of buying the signed hardcover. This cost me a lot of money to get over from the States. So I'm going to pop this in my keep pile, because I think it might be, we are having a no-nap Monday. Come here. Okay. definitely keeping. It's a comic. It's not something I can replace as an audiobook. Definitely keeping. This book is... do yourself a favour. Get on Etsy. Look up Katie Green. Or do a search for Light of the Most Shadow. If she has any copies left, get it. Because this book is beautiful. It is about... I'm not even gonna... It's beautiful. Just go and buy it. Please, please go and buy it. Okay. Now, Peter F. Hamilton, The Dreaming Void. Now, you know what? I don't even know if that is book 1. I got given this. A friend was cleaning out and she found it. She knew I liked sci-fi and she just gave it to me. But you know what? I've got so many more books to read before I get to Hamilton. Okay. Now, this is Circle of Shadows. I know nothing about it. I got it in a book box or something. I had a subscription for a couple of months. Signed plate, hardcover, but you know what? Let's see, where is it? Okay, so give me something's a ghost and health only her Gemini. Demon physical fight. Their apprentice warriors associated targets marked by gods to be trained in magic and fighting arts to protect the kingdom of Konocha. Rajan approaches, Sora and Demon look forward to prove themselves worthy of belonging to the elite group, but in a kingdom free of violence, since the Brothers Rebellion, it's difficult to make their mark. So when Sora and Damon encounter a strange group of mysterious soldiers, it sounds like a YA. You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to put this in family books, because then that way I'm not getting rid of it, but it's not something I'm interested in reading, but it might be something the kids might be interested in reading when they're a bit older. So I'm going to put that one there for now. It's worth fighting your way through this at least once in your life. I do have to reread this because I can't remember a lot of it. So, where is my phone? Is it on Audible? It is. The reason I'm hesitating because I know it's a valuable book to have. I don't necessarily agree with everything in it, but it is a valuable book to have in regards to what it can teach you. I think I'm going to put that for general family books. Now this actually should have been in my knitting collection. But it's still a sort of half history lesson, half, it's actually got some patterns in it too. So I am definitely keeping that but that should actually be in my crafting books, not actually in my fictions. Oh, sorry, Morgan. Yeah. The problem is I've spent a lot of money getting some of these books out here, and I've never used this. I bought it to look at it, to get ideas, but also to the stickers to actually make it functional and put like months on it and things never came with it. So I just never got around to dealing with that. I kind of still want to keep it as a functional, like a reference book. I'm going to put it in my reference books for now. And see, I've got Power of Myth. And okay, these are going to come in. These I'm going to put in the family stuff. These are books where they got prompts. So when the kids are a bit older, because I'm all for encouraging my little bubbers to learn to read and write. So this is a weird printing. That's a weird way to do it. Actually, you know what? That could be fun. Would that be something fun to do? As a low content book. Oh. That could be fun. What do you think, Mama? Anyway, I'm not going to use them. I don't really use writing prompts, but I am going to stick them in family pile. Okay, I've read it. Don't need to read it again. I've followed Mandy for a long time now, a couple of years, and I got one of these for free when I got the book launch planner. I got one at a discount, and I think I got the other one at a discount too. And you know what? Good on her for how she's going. But personally, I have a very different sales ethos. And read it, have held on to this for years, have never reread it. Oh, we've got space now, Morgan. Let me get my, oh, I dropped my pen. Okay. Also, have it on audiobook. Probably will never re-listen to it, let alone read it physically. I adore this book. I need a special hardcover edition. Because this book doesn't do it justice. I gave it a go. Don't really need it. Okay. I haven't read this book yet. I'm going to put this in the family pile. I'm also going to put this in the family pile because I think this is very, very important book. Yes, Momo. Okay. Sorry, that was just the fantasy and science fiction books. Oh, this one's got Lucy in it. Lucy Sussex is an old teacher. Which one's this hers in here? Which one is hers? Which one is hers? It would help if I go to the index. Matricide. Yeah, it is. Lucy was awesome. She's really lovely. Very good teacher. Okay. Also don't need. And you know, I could say, oh, I might keep it for the kids, but I kind of figured they're going to learn a lot of reading on the computer. Little Miss No Naps. Okay. Oh, Lord. If I ever do get back to this, I think it's going to be via an audiobook. And that is the same with this one. I haven't even opened it. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Yeah. I don't need to give any further opinions on that one. I have read it. I learn a lot from it. I also don't agree with a lot of it. I think I'm going to put it there because I have it on audiobook. Read it once. Don't need to read that one again. Now, these two are my newest books that I've recently just bought. The only reason I bought them physically is because they actually aren't available as audiobooks. So keeping those. Actually no, this is the most recent book I bought. Definitely keeping that. Big yawnies. Okay. Untold Resilient is going in the family pile. Total Cat Mojo also going in the family pile. Yes. Barefoot Investor. This actually isn't my book. This is my sister-in-law's. So I need to give that back to her. Are you gonna let me? Are you gonna let me lean over? Can I lean over? Can Mummy lean over? Okay. The elephant in the room. Okay. The elephant in the room. I'm going to put this in the family pile. But what I am also going to do is I'm going to make a note here. And this one's for you, Charlotte. I think I'm going to fork out for one of the really nice hardcover editions of that book. Because I think it's worth having. Even if I don't necessarily agree with it. But isn't that the point of literary books? Okay. They make you think. Or in my case, make you extremely frustrated. Okay. And no, I'm not ever rereading Dirt Music. Because that's beyond frustration, that one. Okay, so let me just make a bit more space here. I've got one more pile. And I am not going to bring them all over here because there's definitely 3 books I am keeping. Regardless. And I'm just going to show them to you because they are my sort of housing books. A couple of grand designs and an ecological architecture book. Hey, Morgan. Grabby hands everywhere. I've had them for many years, all 3 of those books, and they're book pets. I'm keeping them. So, okay. Oh my God. I bought this to give Patrick Rothfuss a go without committing to a huge chunker of a book. So I'm going to keep this, but this is going to go in the same pile as The Child of the Phoenix, which is once I've read it, I probably will get rid of it. Not because I hate it, but because, as I said, I'm trying to make sure that every book I have in my collection is something I love. I'm keeping this book, but I'm putting this book in the family collection. I love The Tail Chaser's Song. It is an amazing book. I think I'm going to... See, I honestly do not think I can get these any other way. What, Papa? What, Papa? You getting hungry? You getting hungry? Why is there a pizza on my Google? What am I doing? Audible. Come on. You don't want to be cuddled. You don't want to go down. Oh, come on. You already want to get into the books, eh? You already want to get into these books. They're not your books to get into. Okay. I just got distracted by messages. Okay. I am not ready to give up on these books because when I was growing up, these three books, The Oathbound, Oathbreakers and Oathblood, were some of my favourite fantasies. But they're not going to suit what I'm envisioning for my my book collection, and they're not available on audiobook. So I'm going to put these in keeping for the family, and I'm going to do the same with these because I can get I've got 2 of these on audiobook so far. I do have to go and read the second one. But these are Hugos. These are Hugo Award winners. They're good to have for the kids to read when they're older. And knowing my luck, my kids are going to hate everything science fiction, fantasy, and only want to read contemporary literature. Well, at least I got Addie. And it's fallen on the floor and I can't reach it. But I have a book copy of Stardust, which I love. So I'm going to be keeping that as well. But I'm going to put the paperback into my family books. And I am going to see if I can get my hands on a nicer version. So, to be honest, I didn't realise... Oh, you know what I haven't got here? I haven't got any of my J.R.R. Tolkien's. You know what? I'm keeping all of them, so I don't really need to sort them. But I will put a clip of them in here. Okay, so this is the one set of books I did not get out. I have Bilbo's Last Song, Beowulf, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings trilogy, all in this black spine symbol sort of covers. I've got the... Oh, focus your damn thing. I've got the Brief History of the Hobbit. So this is the Hobbit with like all the versions in it. So it's got like annotations and things through the whole document, showing you where things were changed in various editions, and also too, I think via drafts as well. I haven't actually read this. Contains a complete manuscript version of The Hobbit, but I got this because I was very interested in it from a writing point of view, seeing how things changed for Tolkien, how he changed things as he wrote, because obviously The Hobbit started as like little mini short stories and things, little mini, like, not short stories, fireside's tale to his kids. And then Song of Middle-earth, so his themes, symbols and myths by David Harvey. So that is my entire Lord of the Rings collection at the moment. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. It is tiny compared to what I used to have. And there are my pops. And these are the ones that I've decided to keep in my collection. So yeah, about 6 books. Plus obviously the architectures. I haven't gone through my craft books yet, but I kind of feel like they're craft supplies. So I'll do that another day. And the idea now is to get myself a nice little wish list happening. So yeah, so the idea now is to get myself a little wish list happening so that I am a lot more conscientious about what I am purchasing. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to add them to the family collection. JJ, this book, you're going to have a book lunch, hey? You're going to have books for all over you in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Stardust. Actually, you know what? I probably don't need to get a copy of Stardust, but if I happen to see one when I'm out and about, I probably will grab it. But it's not on my must-get collection, so... Okay. Yeah. You want those books, don't you? You want Mummy's notebook. You are desperate. Desperate for Mummy's notebook. Yeah. Oh, I know what you would like. Yeah, okay. Ribbon. Ribbon. Okay, so I've got to put this child down before. You're gonna fold yourself in half, eh? You're gonna break yourself in half trying to get to Mummy's pen. You wanna hold it? Hold on, Mummy's pen. Bless you. There you go. Hold a pen with a lid on it. It'll make me feel a bit more comfortable about things. Okay, so yeah, so what I see happening from here is I will put books back in my bookcase. I'm going to go and do a Amazon wish list with the books that I like, the editions I want to get of certain books. Something, you know, obviously I can continually add to that as I find books and things that I want. And the idea would be to have a very, when it comes to my audiobooks, everything and anything goes. I will listen to fiction, non-fiction, you name it. But what I want my personal books to be is a collection of the books that I love. So my Lord of the Rings, the Terry Pratchetts, the comics that I showed before, the Lighter Than My Shadow in particular is what I'm thinking of. And I do have some books in my craft kit, some knitting books, some sewing books, some writing books, but to me they're a different category. They're more my craft supplies, so when I do go through my craft supplies I will be reassessing those ones and which ones I'm going to keep. I'm definitely going to keep knit stitch dictionaries. Do you mind? I'm definitely going to keep the knit stitch dictionaries, but yeah, pattern books and that might end up being added to my pile of giveaways, or get rid of, I should say. So yeah, not sure if this is going to make any sense to anyone but me, but I do love going through these sorts of things, seeing these sorts of videos. So do you mind? You are going to fold yourself in half. Come on, I think it's time for a snack for you. So on that note, guys, thanks for bearing with me whilst I work through this and grabby hand syndrome, and I'll see you soon. What? You're not getting Mummy's pens. You're not getting them. They're not, no. No. Morgan. Okay guys, I've had a bit more of a thought process, and these are all the books that are going back into my bookshelf. These are all the books that I am going to find a home for in the family room. I need to discuss that with David and figure out what to do. And the pile of ones I'm going to get rid of is already packed away in a box, so likely it's on our build table waiting for a box. But yeah, so not a lot of books going back into the shelves, but that's okay. It's not going to be a permanent affair. It is simply because, as I said, I want to make sure the books that I have decided to purchase and keep in my collection, my personal collection, not the family books, are special. I hope you enjoyed this. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you on the morrow. Can we say comfortable?